Good morning, traders, and welcome to Flow with the Markets Tuesday, volume 157. It's Iliya here. I'm very happy to once again see you tune in into my videos. And as you know, in this one, we're going to quickly cover the market, see how it developed from our weekly outlook and setups on Saturday, and of course, see how Monday play out and how we can adapt to the market and change our analysis and of course flow with the market. So this is pretty raw video. I just jump on the charts, analyze how I do it every single morning. So hopefully you're taking notes and also analyzing your charts with me. So yep, let's actually jump into it. This week, as we covered on Saturday, we don't have much news. I do think the first important news release is tomorrow. I'm not sure whether it was CPI or something, so make sure to check it out. But yesterday and today were pretty dead, so we don't have any news. But of course, no news does not mean no moves. We had a lovely long trade yesterday on EU, right? And the majority of the currencies actually went higher yesterday. So are they creating the weekly high? Are we going to have a weekly high and a weekly low today? Right? This is what we are about to see. So starting as always with the Dixie. So as you can see, the prediction is so far going as expected. I either expected a smaller pullback or a deeper one. So the deeper one is currently playing out. We're having some nice complex structure trading to the downside, and we pulled back. Actually, we dipped below the 50% of this overall range, right? But what I can see right now is that there are not enough orders. There is not enough volume for the market to actually push higher, which makes me think that we might attack actually this low to tap deeper into this demand zone, right? And then to potentially explode, okay? And if I also just quickly go to the hourly time frame, you can see that currently the minor structure is bearish, right? So we have a shifted from here, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, sorry, lower high, lower low, right? So our last one is right there, which is our last lower high. And as you can see, we are staying still below it. And if I jump right now on the 50-minute, you can see that also the 50-minute is just turning bearish. Although what I really don't like is that this is pretty flat right here, right? And we're still about to fight with this major higher low right here, okay? So just to, as I quickly analyze it, let me actually share with you what do I expect. So we either from here, we either break below nicely, maybe throw a little bit of a retest during London Open. So right now it's 8:16. This is 16 minutes into Frankfurt, right? So we still have a lot of time until London Open, and then potentially head lower to take out this low and maybe even tap into the demand, right? Or are we're gonna potentially hold from that zone, maybe liquidity grab below a little bit, take out all of these flat highs, come inside this big red zone, right? And then potentially flush and attack the low, okay? So those are my two potential scenarios. As you can see, I am currently bearish on the dollar, although I'm long-term bullish. Personally, I think it's not ready. So as long as we stay below this level, right, we are not ready to go higher. And just looking at the momentum, right, yes, we tapped inside, but there is nothing on the left to react from, right? So we just pulled back. And right now we're accumulating. So don't get me wrong. Of course, if the market expands from here, breaks structure, then what I'm simply going to do is wait for a higher low and then long it. Okay, so I'm always flowing with the market every single day, and in fact, every single session, because what I actually analyze for London, then completely the opposite might happen. Well, yeah, it could happen, of course, as yesterday we forecasted on Monday that long move. But then, for example, New York becomes different. So you have to constantly keep adapting. Okay, so that is my Dixie. So far, short bias, looking to see it dip a little bit lower towards 106. That would be lovely to see. So if you get any short setups, that would be nice. Just be mindful of all of these flat highs that might get taken out. But if not, currently we are already developing a little bit of a bearish flow. We can see the market respecting lower highs and lower lows, right? So we can have that little pullback. Maybe take out some of these flat highs, right, to come inside this guy, right? So there is going to be some sort of a liquidation within the London Open, right? So wait for it patiently, then wait for the market to show the signs of rejection and then potentially strike, okay? But this is how I will view the DXY for this session. Then going on to EU. So let me see, my trades are still staying right here. So I'm going to have to delete everything. So there we go, clean chart, okay? So what we have right now is, again, just to remind you that on Euro USD, we are just trading in a big range. And where are we currently at? Precisely 50%. This is where we're currently lingering, right? 50%. So right now, what is about to happen is we're potentially going to travel to one of the extremes, either the 30 or the 70%, or yeah, opposite, right? Doesn't matter. They're just the extremes, right? If we gather some confidences about where it can potentially go, of course, we saw that the Dixie is overall bearish, right? So we think that EU can potentially go higher, right? So the market, first of all, responded from this demand right here. It failed, then it went for a nice grab below, but then we can see immediately shifted structure above right here. Come on. There's the shift above. Then what the market does, it comes in and respects demand zone right there, and right now starts to trend higher. So what I don't like much about EU is that it doesn't trade higher with momentum, right? And the overall momentum is to the downside. Like, have a look at this big push down. Yes, then we had a big push up, but then it was followed by a immediate push down. So it kind of, there are signs telling me it's bearish, but currently the order flow is telling me bullish, right? So yesterday we traveled towards this little supply area that is probably cleaner on an hourly time frame, but I see on the 4H with the wicks, right? And of course where the momentum kicked in. Okay, we responded from it, but as you can see, after the response from it, it kind of pulled back and is currently creating a higher low. So this immediately makes me think that this high, at least this high, can get attacked, right, before we actually turn bearish. Okay, also this high can get taken for the market to come in and tap within this supply. Why? Because this guy right there responded from nothing on the left. Well, of course, some of you might say the imbalance, right? Which is something that I have been studying, but it just doesn't work for me, right? Ah, come on, how do I draw this guy? Yep, there we go. So this is the imbalance, right, that the market filled. It responded, but then what is important for me is for it to break structure, right? For us to cause a major break. What we did is we responded from demand. So this immediately makes me think that this high can get attacked. Okay, so I am going to stay bullish for now on EU. Lovely longs yesterday. So if I just transfer into the 15-minute, yesterday's Asian session, it's not gonna play out, yeah, because Monday is bugged, right? But yes, pretty much the Asian session is somewhere right there. The Asian low created a beautiful tap within this demand zone, so we pretty much started to build the bullishness, right? So there was a little choppiness. Frankfurt open manipulated, London open pushed, we came back, retested this. So pretty much my community and myself as well, we smashed the longs within right there. Personally, I didn't ride it towards the high because I was traveling yesterday in the car, so I just set a TP and it got taken right here at this high. Then it continued to push higher, took out the London high right there, and then we reversed. Okay, so technically right now what we can see is that we are in a bearish market. So that was the last higher low, pushed, broke below, lower high, lower low, right? But currently, just right now, we actually broke above right here. So technically right now we're also bullish, right? Also encountering this little supply, which I don't think it's major, right? Because again, it's kind of in the middle. Yes, it broke structure. It's actually caused that 15-minute shift, right? But yes, so again, going back to the 4H, we are in the range. What are we currently doing? Well, we are trading in a little bit of a compressed manner, right? It's very corrective, potentially traveling towards this big zone, okay? This first tap does not give me a lot of confidence, right? Yes, it shifted the structure, but I don't see the volume to the downside. Today is also Tuesday, so I expect for us to come in and liquidate at least this high, okay? So right now there are some shorts that are about to pop in, right? But I'm only gonna take shorts if I see some bearishness, right? And if I really see like a break of structure. So right now for me, this one is demand zone. So we have a very nice push. We break the 50-minute lower high. Yes, we're responding from supply. I don't think we get, yeah, we don't get a 1-minute setup so far. Maybe if we throw a quick retest, some of you might look for shorts. Personally, I'm not gonna do so because it's gonna be against my current trend, right? So what I'm gonna be looking for right now precisely is for the market to tap in right here, show me a bullish signal, and then to potentially take it towards this high. Okay, and if this level fails, then of course we have a couple of lower ones. But if we really start breaking this level, if we break this level right there, then I'm gonna start positioning myself for shorts. Okay, so we can have then this retest, lower high, and a potential continuation lower. And that is gonna mean that this is potentially, well, not the weekly high, but just the highest point of the week. So we can start shorting with it. Okay. So that is EU. So far, I'm just kind of flowing with the markets right now. I see the bullish pressure coming in, so I'm going to be looking for longs. Of course, there could be some quick shorts right now to actually take a short within the long range. So you can be looking at something like this, right? So probably like that, 2.5, like 3 pips looks pretty good. then if you ride it towards the demand, you have a 4-hour trade. So that is a possibility, but of course I'm not gonna trade it, especially pre London Open. So yeah, this is how I look at it right now. I would expect potential longs, and if we start breaking below those levels, then I'm gonna shift to shorts. Okay, so flow with the markets. GJ didn't pull back as much, right? So we just ranged, and right now it's actually looking like it's gonna break. So if it breaks, then what I would advise you to do is find out what actually caused the break, which is potentially gonna be this little guy, right? There is this little guy as well that we can potentially react from. Is it gonna reverse from this little candle right there? Well, possibly, but I would love for to see the market deeper within right there. Okay, so if we break above right now, then it could be tomorrow that we pull back and then get a long trade. Okay, so this is how I currently look at it on the 4H. On the 50-minute, and I'm not gonna explore it because it's just ranging. Okay, yes, you can look at it for a little bit. Like there is a liquidity gap right there, there is a liquidity gap right here, then the market shifted on the 50-minute right there. We respected that demand that broke the structure, right? Then we respected this demand that also broke structure, right? So currently the flow is bullish. So if you can find an entry within this kind of consolidation, then that's fine, but personally I'm avoiding trading within such ranges. Okay, so what my tip will be is wait for the flow to break and close, preferably with a body close, right? And then wait potentially for the next day to give you a pullback, right? And then go to the 50-minute, wait for it to align bullish, and then go long. Okay, so that's my suggestion. Currently, if I was trading EJ, I wouldn't touch it, but allow it some time. Okay, and of course, currently I see the flow is bullish. So if you have any pullback inside these ranges right there, then feel free to look for longs as well, because the overall flow is bullish, and we do expect the market to reach a little bit higher. Aussie dollar surprised me yesterday. So again, we were following the flow. We have this big push to the downside. We pull back 50%, beautiful. Then we went ahead and made a new low. It's with a wick, which I don't like, but still it is valid. So what I had is potentially this kind of supply zone, and the market just disregarded it, right? The market just broke above it. So right now it gets a bit tricky because we have to ask the question, is this a liquidity gap right now? For the market to liquidity gap, make the weekly high and then flush, or are we shifting long? Okay, so I would also appreciate your thoughts, guys, in the comments. But personally, I am avoiding AU for now because I'm not sure whether this is a liquidity gap, right, in order to go short. So if you're feeling risky, of course, you can already be running into shorts, right? So we had that liquidity gap, and the 50-minute has definitely shifted bearish, right? It shifted bearish right there. It also shifted bearish right there. So you could be running shorts right now, but also we have that 50%, and there's some zones below the 50%. So yeah, if you are taking shorts, then of course take a short, ride it towards the 50%, but then take your profits and wait for the next move. Okay, so yes, right now we're nicely moving lower. You can look for some sort of a pullback and then look for something like this. Okay, but currently AU is outside of my scope of trading. So did this cause a liquidity gap? Yeah, so we have a nice area right there. So this one actually was a liquidity gap. Then it went ahead and broke structure. So you can potentially be looking to trade from a level like this, which I'm not sure whether we're going to come and tap, right? Maybe London Open can take us right here. But of course, right now follow the bearish flow because we have a bearish flow on the 50-minute. But keep in mind your major structure that is bullish on the 4H, right? So are we also going to pull back below 50% and then initiate higher towards new high? I don't know, right? It surprised me actually by breaking this high. So I am looking for more signs and more confirmation to actually build a proper bias. For now, I just follow the 50-minute flow. Yeah, AJ actually made a nice move higher, right? We expected a slightly bigger pullback, right? But it just opened and pushed. So again, our analysis, you can see, did not play out as expected, right? But we can see that the overall flow is bullish, right? Possibly the Aussie is very strong right now. I don't know why. Maybe you guys can let me know. Did they have a cash rate, interest rate decision? I'm not sure because I'm not following the Aussies closely. But yes, right now we pushed to create a new high. So again, what my bias will be bullish, pullback right there, and then potentially jump towards this, which is a daily zone. We found out. Okay. Of course, we're grabbing liquidity above this high. We're potentially tapping inside this little drop-based drop zone, right? But I still think we have more upside looking at how flat it forms on the top. So definitely more longs can come in. But currently, I just don't like the 50 minutes. Okay, it's not only that it pushed in a very sloppy manner, but right now it's kind of wicking above, pushing lower, then it fails to break above, then it breaks below, then it pulls back almost. Yeah, it actually liquidity grabs as AU did, but then it pushes lower. It again fails to break structure. So no, this is a pair that I'm just not gonna touch for now. But of course, if you have a deeper pullback on the 4H, then definitely longs towards, what is it, 95, right, which is an average target. So that's AJ. Again, bullish. We flow with the markets, pushed up, so we follow that flow, of course, until we are wrong. NZD. Well, NZD did not make a move to the downside first before moving higher. We just straight moved higher towards supply, which is good, which is different than the Aussie, right? So we tap right now into supply and we're already responding. The tap into supply was rather bullish, right? Which is something that I don't like. But of course, right now, technically the market is bearish. And if we drop to the 50-minute, we can see that the market went ahead and throw a little bit of a liquidity gap right there. Push, 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 push. 4 drives into the highs before we actually shifted the structure, right? Then this creates this supply, which hasn't been tapped, unfortunately. We just pulled back a little bit. But of course, we created again 1, 2 breaks of structure before moving lower. Then, of course, this will be our supply, which also didn't tap. And the market is currently kind of reversing without actually giving us a single entry. So I'm gonna wait on this one for a little bit of course. I wouldn't trade from this. I would only trade from this if the market right now pulls back, forms a double top, then strongly pushes, shifts, and then potentially goes, right? I would like to trade from this. Why? Because this took liquidity, broke structure, but it hasn't been tapped in yet, right? This also hasn't been tapped in yet, so we can expect some sort of a liquidation in the NZD. It just looks too easy to right now short from the last lower high, right? It has been trending down, push, pull back, push, pull back, push. Usually when you have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, you're gonna have that manipulation above, like the ABC. So let's see, right? Let's see. If I'm just gonna take my 50% to know where we can potentially stop. So there's our 50%. So we still have a little bit more space to the downside to move, but probably it's gonna tap it right now, right? To tap 50%, maybe to tap within this sell to buy right there, and then potentially reverse to take out all the liquidity and then go. Okay, so yeah, Tuesday is usually even a trickier day than Monday because you kind of don't know what to expect. So you have to wait right now for the weekly cycle to start, and then potentially Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday you go with that weekly cycle. Okay, so be careful today. A lot of things can happen. This one is definitely looking bearish right now, but we are also about to tap inside this guy, as I told you. So this one can be a catalyst for the market to pull back, and if it pulls back, then wait for your lower high and let's see if we can short it. Okay, but also monitor AU because the Aussie looked a bit stronger, but again the Aussie went above while the NZD did not. So quite strange. Why does that happen? So definitely I'm not trusting those pairs as of right now and waiting for more development. NJ is also tapping nicely into supply, right? This is daily supply, I believe. So yes, this one as well, we expected either a break of this low, right? So then we can start shorting, or a little pullback and then a continuation into the highs, and then potentially a shift. Okay, so this analysis is so far playing out, although we did not have like a nice pullback towards this zone, so we can long it, right? But technically right now there is a 4-hourly break. The 4-hourly higher low is a bit tough to identify. It could be this one, but it also could be this one. It could be that low right there. So if we take like a whole swing, there is your lowest point, right? So right now, yes, it's tapping inside, but look at it, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 4-hourly candles just ranging. Okay, and this is where the move started during the week. So this is where we can potentially come in, take some liquidity, and then move higher. These pairs are giving me a tough time today, especially the JPY. So no, I'm not gonna force it, right? So we took some liquidity above. Right now we're shifting below, but no, this is just not enough, right? This is way too flat for the market to reverse. So I would expect another push into the highs on all pairs. Honestly, we can have a tap right there, then come in, take out all of these flat highs, and then form in a sharper manner. Because usually how I would like to see the market form is sharp and then just run, right? And then just pull back, give me the short and then go. So right here we tapped. it was short, but then we come in, actually strongly push, then come in strongly again, right? It's not how I want to see it. So I would expect another push into the highs before we reverse, okay? And honestly, right now, the 4-hourly and the hourly are rather bullish, so it's really not ready to get short. Okay, so give it some time, guys. If you're trading JPYs, give them some time. They're so far bullish right now, although we're tapping in a daily zone, so it needs more development, right? I would at least need to see a nice 4-hourly push lower, right? Because have a look, do you have any bearish pushes right here? No, you had one, which was your pullback towards the 50%, right? Then a new push, so you can have a new pullback and a new push. Okay, so currently it is bullish, so give it some time. UJ, we can see UJ did not make much of a development. It just pushed in, created a new high. Right now it's pulling back. It's not towards the 50%, and currently it's just kind of lingering inside this area. So yeah, the JPYs are tough. They are waiting for something, maybe tomorrow. I'm not even go to the 50-minute because there is nothing probably that I would find. We went ahead, we made this high. Then we shifted the structure right here precisely. So pretty much what shifted the structure is this. So if you're feeling risky, guys, then you can short from this area, right? You can short from this area, wait for at least this one to get taken. So that one could be a potential setup, and then riding it towards the 50%. But this is a counter trend trade, right? The market is bullish. We just can take a short to ride it towards the 50% or to ride it towards demand, and then take a long towards that daily zone. Okay, so that is how I currently look at UJ, which is a low quality setup because it's against the overall trend, but it doesn't look that bad. Okay, so let's see, give it some time. It looks like the JPYs are waiting for something. I might have to check the news. We might have something big occur, but yes, just be patient. Okay, and if you wish, take a short. Although the other pairs do not look like shorts, pretty much because their USD ones are rather bullish. So correlation is a bit cracked right now as well. If we have a look at GU actually played out nicely, so it pulled back very nicely towards that lower high, and it's currently rejecting. But if we have a look at another detail, the 4-hourly time frame is a bit bullish so far, so I would love to see right now a break below, then pull back lower high, and then a push. So this will be my textbook setup, a setup that I would actually strike on. Okay, if I jump to the hourly, there is a pullback, a long on GU yesterday as well. So there is the retest, there is the push creating the high, right? This one nicely came inside the supply, right? And we also shifted structure right here, which leaves us with another supply zone right there. And currently, what is the market doing? It just took out the Asian high. Let me plot it in. It just took out the Asian high right there and moved lower. So it could be getting ready for shorts, right? So you can start shorting right there. But personally, I don't like to short it at such a low area, right? Because we have all of that empty space right there to fill potentially. So we can have something like this and then a drop. And knowing GU, it's probably not going to move from here. It's probably going to want to drive more liquidity to stop out a lot of traders before actually reversing. Okay, so be patient with this one as well, right? There could be some shorts right here, but I don't think so, right? We can just be tapping inside this demand zone and reversing higher. So give it some time. And of course, if you're looking for shorts right now, drop to a lower time frame and wait for good confirmation. Okay, and if right now we actually break above, then pull back, take a long towards the zone, and then from there see if we're going to reverse. Okay, so GU has nicely pulled back, right? This is very good, but if right here we don't hold, then we might actually use this one as liquidity to tap deeper inside this zone, inside this wick, and then to potentially move. Okay, so a lot of scenarios, guys, a lot of scenarios. I'm throwing them all at you, right? So it's a bit tough, but this is, I believe, the real skill, being able to flow, being able to look at all the potential outcomes, and of course being able to strike and just accept the probabilities. Okay, so this is how I currently look at GU. I do believe we're going to have a deeper pullback. If the market also holds from here and then continues to break, then of course I'm going to flow with it, wait for a lower high, and then drop. Okay, so that's my GU outlook. GJ probably didn't do much. GJ was actually pretty tough to analyze. So yes, I either expect a short, but in order to take a short, I will need to see this one break or a long. The long is also kind of not nice. So yeah, GJ, I'm just gonna leave it right now, do its thing. Okay, as I told you, the JPYs are waiting for something. They're waiting for something, probably for UJ to make some sort of a move. We forecasted that UJ can potentially be short, so can this one also go short? Well, guys, I leave GJ to you. I'm not trading GJ at all. So looks like we reached this high, then we started shifting right now, but no, it's just not looking good, and I'm not gonna overcomplicate it. Okay, if you look a little bit deeper, there is a pullback right there, so it made a high, so then technically this is a break, so technically then this one could be your supply zone right there, maybe even with the wick. So if you start having some nice 50-minute trend to the downside, then yes, you can start looking for shorts, but you don't have it right now. The 50-minute internal structure or minor structure is bullish, so you gotta wait for some momentum to kick in, right, and then to start following it. Okay, so tough analysis, guys. Today we see that like we're in those overall ranges, so it's a little bit tough, right? Euro GBP, it's pulling back towards the 50%, which means that the euro is more bullish than the pound, so that's good. Maybe getting another long on EU. Gold nicely respected the zone. It's trying to push up. It hasn't yet made a new high. So let's see if it's gonna make it, right? I do think it should make it, because technically this one should break as a new high, right? But of course we never know. There is no should, there is no needs to, right? There is only might, could, right? Potentially. Okay, so pushing into the highs, the 50-minute structure is probably overall bullish. Well, on gold I might look on the hourly. So we had a nice tap inside. Right now we actually broke this last higher low, so we can be looking for the market to retest some of these areas right here, and then as it comes in, potentially during New York, you can come in and then you can drop to a lower time frame and look for a potential long. Okay, so that's how I'm going to be looking at gold right now. Overall bullish, and of course potentially attacking 1800. Okay, that is my target. Long so far, push, beautiful high, high low, respected so far. We see the reaction from it, so let's hope we pull back, we hold that bullish flow, and then potentially we continue going higher. Of course, knowing gold, it can just pop above right now on London Open, so of course we're gonna flow with the market. The indices, US 30 didn't do much, so we just went above, and as I told you, I do expect more liquidity to be grabbed, so it's just happening right now. Another run into the highs is something that I would appreciate, but of course the market can just be reacting from that wick as well, so let's see what's gonna happen. And as I told you in my analysis, in order for me to short, I need to see 4-hourly structure break, which right now moves to right there. So I'm not touching this one until the 4-hourly shifts, okay? Because I also don't want to take longs, right? Because right now we are in this distribution phase, right? So anytime the longs can stop, okay? Nasdaq as well, kind of just, yeah, pulled back a little bit, spiked above the high, rejected. So I'm looking for this demand to fail before I start shorting. So again, no setup on this one as well. I'm not going to go into details because there is no need to go into details. Probably Wednesday is going to be the mover for an indices. S&P did the same, actually respected demand right there. Well, yeah, this was on the 5th. Pushed up, made a new high, probably took some more liquidity. Yeah, broke a couple of other highs right there. But yeah, so right now my new higher low moves to right there. So this is what I need to see break strongly before I start considering shorts. Okay, so that is S&P, nothing too much. Bitcoin, what is it doing? Okay, it didn't push to the downside. It actually expanded higher, which is really good. So yeah, we can right now start looking at this zone, which is a flip zone, because we responded from supply and then we flipped above, right? So anything like this could be possible on Bitcoin. And Ethereum is also probably it's also probably looking bullish. Yeah, Ethereum is making a new high, so taking lots of liquidity. So of course we want to go to flow with the market from here. So if we have something like this, then definitely a possible long. Okay, so that's how I'm gonna wrap it up, guys. I'm of course gonna jump on the charts right now, try to take some trades. We can see that Dixie responded from this demand, but right now we're starting to shift a little bit lower. So it's kind of cooking right now. It is definitely cooking for something, so I'm giving it some more time. We can see that this setup that I shared with you, it should be in right now. You could have even gotten a better stop loss trip, so you can go break even faster. But this is, again, as I told you, not a setup that I would love to take, right? This is possibly a setup that I would take with 0.25% risk, right? So I'm looking for how it's going to develop right now, right? Are we going to pull back towards this demand to take a long, or are we just going to flush from here with this sort of setup that I'm going to beat myself up for not taking it? But of course, this is not according to my plan. Aussie dollar also needs some time, right? So right now it's shifting bearish in an overall bullish market, right? So I will take a short towards the 50%, while the NZD is actually looking like shorts because it did not make a new forward high. It just beautifully pulled back, made a new lower high, and right now we're starting to shift. The thing is that I think those flat highs might get taken out, right? So Tuesday is rather doubtful for me. So again, I'm just patiently waiting, giving it some more time. UJ might give us another manipulation into the highs. This is what I would love to see, right? GU, let's see if it's gonna hold from here and just flush, right? We just retested that supply. So we might start dropping from here, or we might actually come in higher. So yeah, no clear, precise setups that I'm actually looking for right now. So what I'm going to be simply doing is watching the market, flow with what is happening, and then potentially strike as the setups occur. Okay. So I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Hopefully you learned something, you took some notes, and I wish you a very successful week ahead of you, right? And talk to you on Saturday. I'm going to start posting more educational videos from September, as I said, because I still have some more travels to go. I'm currently focused on the revamp that I'm doing for my private program. It is amazing. Members are already happy, and yeah, looking forward to that. So stay tuned and talk to you soon.